Do you see this? The guy who's lying on this torture device right now is building muscle. How much muscle? More than you can even imagine. And this torture device is going to revolutionize the fitness world, and it's just a matter of time. And free workouts. $1 billion industry is this powder that people drink before their workout in order to improve performance.
Alright, we got a pre-workout here.
And if you've never used it, you most certainly know at least one person who has. But is it just one big BS?
Heck is in this?
Don't forget where you heard all the things you're going to hear first.
I feel like I could punch a hole through a wall.
Let's begin. What's up, guys? Welcome to your Fitness Pal. And do you see this back? That's scoliosis, when there is an S shape in the spine, just not from the profile but from behind. In the past, in order to treat scoliosis, the patient would lie on a bed. They would tie him on both sides, pull tight, and the doctor would step on his back to try to straighten his spine. And although it wasn't evidence-based at all, and in some of the solutions people were paralyzed, no one asked questions. 500 years to the future, in January 19th, a new study came to light on this torture device. But it's not just any device. What you're going to see will seem strange, grotesque, masochistic, but at the same time a revolution in the fitness industry that is happening right under our noses. So, where does your chest muscle connect to? I'll tell you. According to the anatomy, your pectoralis major muscle connects to the first 6 costal ribs, to your sternum bone, to the clavicular bone, and inserts right here. Meaning technically right now I'm touching my own chest. In some countries, it is considered illegal. Meaning, if I want to stretch my pecs in the most efficient way, I need to do abduction and external rotation. Now, if you have a friend that you can really trust, or a neighbor that you really can't, they'll be happy to do this to you. This is a passive stretch for the pecs, where you're not the ones who are actively stretching, but someone else is doing it for you. But if you have neither this nor that, you have this device. And this torture device builds muscle. Why? In the new study that came to light this month, they put some of the participants in this device. They were lying with their backs on a bench, the shoulders were in external rotation, and the elbows at 90 degrees. To avoid an arch in the lower back, if God forbid some of them would want to feel a little bit more comfortable, they were told to do hip flexion and put their feet against the wall. And so far, that was the fun part. Then their elbows were tied to the machine and their chests were forcefully stretched. How much force was used? Up to the maximal pain threshold they could bear. But that's not all. They did all of that for 15 minutes per session, 4 times a week. But that's not all either. They connected an automatic measuring device to the machine that every time the traction load decreases, it pulls the elbows down further to further intensify the traction. And the duration of all of this was 2 months. Would you stand in line? Yes? Too bad you didn't say it earlier, because some of the participants themselves didn't agree to be in this group. You could have switched, but never mind. The second group were training their pectoralis major muscle. They did 5 sets in the flies machine 3 times a week. Now, after 2 months of torture or training, the left and right pectoralis major of both groups grew equally. Wanna hear another thing? Excellent. Both groups improved their force in the maximal static strength test, on average, to the same extent. Meaning, only stretching the muscle without even doing a single workout resulted in the same muscle hypertrophy and strength. And it's not the only study and not the only device. We've previously shown you a group that stretched their calves very intensely with this device up to a pain scale of 8 out of 10, and one group that trained their calves at the gym. And in both groups the calves grew on average similarly. Now, it's important to note that the participants were untrained individuals. Second, the study was only 8 weeks, and we don't know if the study would have continued if the results had remained the same. And the third limitation, the muscle measurement they took from the pecs was only at one site. And it's important to measure different sites to check if there is regional hypertrophy. But right now, a new revolution in the fitness industry is starting, and it's happening right under our noses. And although it comes from a torture device, it's being checked and regulated by the research community and not by the BDSM community. And maybe in the very near future, people who got injured will use some of these machines to imitate hypertrophy exactly like in resistance training. But what do I need to drink prior to my workout? Before the year 2004, exactly 20 years ago, caffeine was not allowed in competitions. The World Anti-Doping Agency in sport has placed it under the category prohibited substance. Why? Because caffeine is considered a stimulant and performance enhancer. This is why the energy drink Prime of Logan Paul and KSI is being invested investigated by the FDA due to the high amount of caffeine it has relative to the young mammal audience that drink it.
We got prime, boys. We got prime.
By the way, to this day there is an amount of caffeine that even an athlete must not exceed, which is 10 milligrams for every kilo of body weight. It comes up to about 8.5 cups of coffee for my body weight. But what's the relation between this and a workout? A week ago we received a question about what's our opinion about pre-workouts, which is a powder that a lot of people drink, you guessed it, pre-workout. How much is a lot of people? The market value was estimated at about $14 billion already in 2020 and is expected to skyrocket by 2027. What's usually in it? Lots of substances such as BCAA, L-arginine, beta-alanine, creatine, caffeine, and lots of other ingredients that ends with in order to get our money out. But according to what you've heard before, how do I know that it's not just the caffeine itself that helps and that all the other ingredients that are mixed with the caffeine are not just there in order to inflate the packaging? And can we right now throw $1 billion industry to the trash? There's only one type of study that can evaluate that. First, to give the group just the caffeine, and at the second time to give them the same amount of caffeine plus all of the list of the ingredients that comes with the powder, and then to check when they had better performance, which they just happened to do right here. They allocated participants with 5 years of experience on average. They weren't told when they were getting what, and according to the results there was no difference in bench press performance. There was even an advantage to only taking caffeine. Why does it matter? According to the study, it is possible with one dose of the pre-workout they use to buy 10 equivalent doses of caffeine in pill form or 50 in powder form, meaning I throw inside a lot of ingredients just in order to take more money. And if you subscribe to the channel, you can save all of this money. Now, yeah, it's only one study, and yes, it's an acute study, and yes, they've only checked one pre-workout powder, but we'll save you the trouble for future research. Most powders that contain BCAA are not useful for the vast majority of the population, especially if you already consume your own amount of daily protein. There's also no need for creatine and beta-alanine in a powder whose purpose is to improve immediate performance. The real celebration comes from caffeine in that amount, and maybe some citrulline in that amount. Nevertheless, as of today, we have a direction that consumption of caffeine and creatine together lowers their efficiency compared to taking them separately. Why? It's not too clear, but from all of the existing data we have, this is the direction we see. In conclusion, mechanical tension in the form of passive tension is very powerful for building muscle, and perhaps devices in this style will also be part of the home landscape in the future. 2. If you want to improve performance immediately, caffeine about half an hour before a workout is what you're looking for. Of course, it depends on your age and how much caffeine you're personally allowed to consume.
We got prime, boys.
Now, it's very important for us that you press the subscribe button, and after you press it, you'll understand why it's so important also for you. Don't forget to leave a like and share this video with whoever you know that has a pack, and give them also a pack kiss. We'll see you in the next video that will even be crazier than this one. Bye bye.